So, hello everybody. Coach Griffith here. It's Friday, 2 days before July the 4th. Hope that you're all planning on having a great celebration of our country's independence. We're also blessed and lucky to be in a country that's founded on the principles of freedom. And you guys will get to do that in lots of different ways, I am sure, over the weekend. Hey, just wanted to catch up with you. We've got 3 weeks of captured training in the book. And so let's talk a little bit about some of the information that we've seen coming back to our athletes on Sunday nights when you turn in your weekly running report. So, drum roll, please. Boom. So far we have captured in 3 weeks among all of our runners 27,657 total minutes run. That's a lot, right? Sure sounds like a lot to me. It ends up being 886 total runs that have been captured in our weekly recaps. And what does that turn into if you look at bigger numbers? So over 3,000 miles run, somewhere around 3,200 miles, which is a long way, probably all the way across the United States of America that we're going to be celebrating on Sunday, which is pretty amazing. If you take that 27,000 minutes run and turn it into hours, that's 461 total hours run by our team so far over the last 3 weeks. And had that been done sort of relay style, just one runner handing off to the next one, on to the next one, to the next one to capture all 886 runs, it would be like we ran without stopping 24 hours a day for 19 total days. That's pretty amazing. So congratulations for those of you who've been out there getting after it this summer. A few of the things that I'm encouraged by is that for the athletes who are turning in reports, which has been somewhere around 50 or 55 a week, and I think we have more people running than that, but we'll get back to that in a minute. We've been averaging just a little bit, a titch over 5 days per week run, which is perfect. The most important thing you can do as you're becoming a really good distance runner is to run frequently. Before you worry about how fast you're going to run or how far you can run, the most important thing you can do to get in shape is to run on a consistent basis. 6 days a week is the ideal goal for most of our athletes. We may have some of our most experienced varsity guys who are really fit and healthy. They may run on a schedule that gets to be 13 days out of 14 once we get later into the season. But for most of us, 6 days a week is the ideal number. And if you're brand new to running and you're saying, "God, 6 days a week seems like a lot, coach. Don't I really need to run less than that as I'm getting into shape?" I would say, no, probably not. We would love to see you at practice 6 days a week. Because here's the thing, even if we decide that only running 5 days a week is sort of the right mix for you, we're doing other things at practice like core, we're doing warm up drills, things that help make you a little bit more athletic. We might just be doing some striders that aren't going to be wearing you out. We have yoga 2 days a week. So being there, being part of your team, sort of staying in a regular rhythm and routine is really important. So we want you to come out there and be with us. And for the most part, we're doing a really great job of that. We're averaging a little over 5 days a week, which is, pretty close to 6, which is where we'd like to be. So for those of you who are getting out there, who are getting in your runs, especially if you're having the self-discipline to go do that when you're on vacation, I say congratulations, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. It's the way you get better. I promise that you will be glad that you did once we get into August and school starts back up and it's time to start racing. And definitely by the time we get to October, and for some of us November, when it gets to be championship season and you want to be the strongest that you can possibly be and run to the best of your ability. So really nice job on that. We're also at a time of the year where we're starting to slightly think about, once we've got the frequency thing nailed down, is adding just the tiniest little bit of volume. And on Sundays, when I post our workout schedule for the week, one of the things I'm recommending for most of our runners right now is to think about adding like 5 minutes to your average run every week. So if you started off as being like a 20-minute runner and you've gotten to where you can do that pretty comfortably and you don't have to walk or anything, it's time for you to move up to 25 minutes for your average run. We want to start to develop, it's our second thing, right? So frequencies first. Our second thing is is doing a little more, running a little longer. You get more aerobic cardiovascular development, which is what you need this time of year. So think about adding those extra 5 minutes. And then for our top end runners, the people who have been around for a few years, who we feel like are probably in the position to be able to handle more volume, there is a recommendation at the bottom of each week on how many miles that we would like for you to run. And for our varsity guys this week, it's a 45-mile goal week. And then for our varsity girls, I think we are still in the 25 to 30 mile range. I don't want anybody doing any more than 30 miles this particular week. So take that into consideration as you're finishing up your week. If you haven't run today on Friday, still time. Let's get that run in. And then on Saturday, our most important run of the week, our long run. And what you should target for your long run generally is about 20 to 25% of your weekly total volume. So if you're a varsity guy and you're running 40 miles a week, 25% of that would be 10 miles. So that's sort of in the zone or the range that you'd want to be. If you're running off of minutes, you can do the same math. You're all very smart. I know that. You can figure this out. And then if if you don't want to do all that math, if you think that's just too complicated, then what you can do for your long run is the same thing that I've recommended that you start to do for your typical weeks, which is add 5 minutes to the longest run that you had the prior week. In some cases, you might even be able to do 10 minutes, right? So if you've been doing a 20-minute run, adding 5 minutes to that gets you to 25. That might not be as big a stretch as what you're ready for, to take on a little bit more time on your feet, a little bit more opportunity to make your heart and lungs and your body stronger and that sort of stuff. You might be able to jump up 10 minutes. Now, if you're a varsity guy and you're running 70 minutes, the jump to from 70 straight to 80, and then the next week from 80 to 90, like you start getting to be where it gets to be too much too soon. So you know what the drill is. But anyway, that's just sort of the general plan. We're starting to add a little bit of intensity. So frequency first, then start to run a little bit longer, and then we're just starting to add in a little bit more of fast running kind of stuff that we will need to use later on. It'll become a bigger percentage of the total workload that we're doing. But so far, I'd say that we're encouraged. Keep up the good work. Happy 4th of July, and we will see you next week at practice. So long.